All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming to the Alpha Hackathon in San Francisco. Uh, Today here at Frontier Tower, I wanted to thank our host, Thomas, who's over here, and Rob for coming out. Give him a little round of applause. And also wanted to give a shout out to Xander Gray, who couldn't be here, but was like a big part of helping us plan and put this together. He messed up his Achilles, and so, but he's hopefully watching and helping us in Zoom. So here's just a little bit of a run or show or plan of what we're going to do today. We've had our check-in. I'm going to talk a little bit about the event, like how today is going to go, and then how the next 2 months will go. We'll have a little break, and then at about 4 o'clock, Rob will run us through his training and how to actually use the platform, including how to use MCP and build bots in the UI. Then, starting at about 5 o'clock, we'll have an hour and a half or so of time for people to actually hack and get into the system and test it out for yourselves. Then we'll have another break, and then just a wrap up at 6:30 with if anybody has any final questions or things like that. We also have food and drink here. We have some snacks and drinks in the blue cooler, and hopefully once David gets here, we'll be getting some pizza as well. So this is the beginning of a 2-month hackathon. It's not like just a casual hackathon. What we're going to do is you can actually build bots and put them into the system. And the winner of the hackathon will be the person who actually produces the most return with their bot. And I'll show the prizes a little bit later. But it'll be based on how your bots actually do in paper trading or live trading if you actually want to run it in live trading. So this is our target audience of who we wanted to reach: people who are quants, machine learning engineers, traders, and software engineers. All right, so 5 markets, 1 proving ground. So for this hackathon, you can use any sort of equity class, not any, but these are the different equity classes that'll be available: options, futures, stocks, crypto, and crypto futures are available in terms of different things that you can trade in the BotSpot platform. And so in order to participate in the hackathon, you'll have to create a BotSpot account using the same email that you registered for the hackathon with. And Rob and the BotSpot platform, they're donating 2 months or giving away 2 months for everybody who registers. So he has the code and he'll show that a little bit later. But that's how we're going to track performance in the hackathon page. So yeah, people a lot of times have demos that don't actually survive with the market, but in this hackathon, there'll be live market exposure. It's a real strategy competition using paper, or if you're brave enough, live accounts. And you'll be able to get feedback and institutional level thinking. So here's a timeline for the whole hackathon. We officially opened early access last month. Today is our official kickoff of July 19th, which is an in-person hackathon. Then there'll be a 1-month build phase where you'll be able to use your BotSpot subscription to continue to refine your bot and iterate on it and optimize it. Then starting August 19th, that's when the trading window starts for the 1 month of actual competition. And then September 19th, we'll have the results by September 19th. And then that's when we'll have an awards event at that time. So this is the kickoff today, and where we'll build real systems that we can actually track their performance of. And did it go back? It's not. I think that was the last slide. But here is actually the BotSpot platform and the hackathon page where you'll go to enter the competition. There's no strategies registered yet, but once we get this will function as like a leaderboard for the different strategies that are registered. For first place, there's an award of $500 cash and a 1-year BotSpot Pro plan. For second place, the prize is $300 cash and a 1-year BotSpot Pro plan. And third place is $200 cash and a 1-year BotSpot Pro plan. So the top 3 finishers will all get 1 year of BotSpot Pro. And we also have the rest of the official rules here. You can have teams, but only one submission is allowed to participate. One participant, you must have one bot registered via one user account. So any questions so far? No? All right, so yeah, I think now you'll want to make sure you're registered on botspot.trade. And I guess, is there a certain workflow they should follow, Rob?
I'm going to cover that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that.
Okay, yeah, so maybe wait to register until Rob gives you the workflow.
Yeah.
So awesome. So that's all I had for our kickoff and presentation.
All right, guys. So let me walk you through how to build your first AI trading bot, if you guys haven't done so yet. All right. So here's what we're going to be covering today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am, what is BotSpot, and why we built it. We're going to do a specific strategy today that trades TQQQ. It's very simple. Part of the reason why we chose it is because it does very well, but also it's a very simple one to understand. We're going to go through 2 different methods of how you actually get this working. So first method is using the website, using the BotSpot agent to do it. And the other one is if you want to use your own agent, Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, whatever, we'll go through that as well. Right. And then we'll have questions and build time so you guys can go ahead and build some cool stuff. All right. Okay, so this is me, Rob, bit of an old picture of mine. But yeah, so my background, I've been coding for 25 years, actually longer than 25 years, since I was like 10 years old. I have a master's in finance degree. I started and sold a company right after grad school. I worked in New York at a company called Greystone. We did about 3 billion in transactions through a platform that we made that eventually got spun off and sold too. Voyager is another thing that I started. If you guys are in the crypto space, you may have heard of them. We were like a competitor against Coinbase, hit $1 billion valuation until one of our customers went bankrupt and kind of screwed us over. So it was 0 to $1 billion and then right back down to 0. And then now I'm the founder and CEO of Lumi Wealth and BotSpot. Okay, so why do we build BotSpot? So basically, we believe that it should be very easy to build and test your own trading ideas, right? So BotSpot basically allows you to do something like this, right? You could describe your strategy, say it in plain English. I want it to do this, this, and this. Then you could test it using backtest real data and actually see how it would have performed historically. Then you can deploy it. We connect to a bunch of different brokers. I'll show you a few of them. They can monitor your bots so you can see how well they're actually doing. And then we also have a marketplace so you guys can share strategies with others and you can actually monetize it on the marketplace too. So if you guys build a really good strategy, put up on the marketplace, charge, $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever you guys want to do, you can do that on our marketplace. Okay, so today what we're going to build is a TQQQ strategy, right? So something very, very simple, okay? TQQQ, if you guys haven't heard of it, it's the triple leveraged NASDAQ. So if the NASDAQ is up 1%, this thing is up 3%. If you look at it on a long-term chart, it does really, really, really well. But the problem is that it has a lot of really big drawdowns, right? So I don't know about you guys, but if I lost 80% of my money in 6 months, I would not be very happy. You know what I mean? So this kind of gets you around that, right? So you're basically using the 200-day moving average. If you're above the 200-day moving average, we're going to be in TQQ. If you're below it, then we're just going to hold on to cash, right? So very simple. So if we're above the 200-day moving average, presumably we're in an uptrend. If we're below the 200-day moving average, we're not in an uptrend, all right? Okay. So backtests are very good for this strategy. 41% annual return. When we backtested from 2013 to 2025, it was 8,500% total return. I'd say that's pretty damn good. I'd love to see if you guys can do better than that. And like I said, we're going to go through two different ways of doing this, right? So we're going to make it once using BotSpot. So you can go to the website and use our agent, which is like hyper optimized for this kind of stuff. Or if you prefer Codex, Claude Code, Cursor, whatever, I'll show you guys how to do that too. Okay, so first of all, a little bit of a background if you guys are more technical. All of this is running off of our open source library called LumiBot. And LumiBot, we have 1.8 thousand GitHub stars, growing pretty fast. We've recently hit an inflection point, so it's trending upwards quite quickly. We have 350 forks. We have over 5,000 commits. We've been doing this for a while. LumiBot was made, 6-7 years ago now. So it's been battle tested. A lot of people use it to actually trade, backtest, all that kind of stuff. And it can do some pretty cool stuff. If you guys want to talk about it later, there's like a lot of really cool features we could do. You could like literally use agents to trade if you trust Claude enough to do that or whatever. You could trade. We're adding in Poly Market very soon too. So you could do a lot of really interesting stuff with it. Okay, so let's do method one. Okay, so this is basically how it's going to go, right? So step one is connect your broker. Step two, make the strategy. Step three, back test it. Step four, deploy it. And then number five, because this is the hackathon, enter the hackathon and let's see if you guys win the prizes. All right. Okay, so step one, connect your broker. Okay, so we work with a bunch of different brokers here. Alpaca, Schwab, Tradier, Coinbase, Kraken. There's a bunch more that I don't even have on this list because it wouldn't fit. We work with also Binance, Kraken, KuCoin, a lot of them. We're going to be adding interactive brokers and Poly Market soon, as I mentioned. But today we're going to use Alpaca because it's just easy to get up and running, and you can make an account with them in like 30 seconds. So we'll start with them. All right. Okay, so let's talk about actually doing this. So let's go to Alpaca. I'll show you guys how to make an account real quick. Okay, it's super easy to do. I feel like I should be getting paid for talking about them. So you go sign up. You want to sign up through the trading API. All right, fill in your first name, last name, etc. So I'll put in Rob, Rezik, and country, USA, United States, email. This is a little trick that I use to get a bunch of accounts with them. I think literally 100 accounts with Alpaca. So so my regular email address is rob@lumiwealth.com, right? But what I'm going to do, because I have so many accounts with them, I'm going to go rob plus hack at lumiwealth.com. Actually, let's go hackathon at lumiwealth.com. I don't know if you guys know this little trick, but like if you put a plus in your email address, it all goes straight to lumiwealth.com. So you don't have to make a new email address, but other platforms think you're a new email, right? Because it doesn't match their thing, right? Okay, so put that there. I'll pick a password. Okay, you don't like my password. So let's get Keeper, my password manager, to do this. So let's add a new one. So create new. And this is Rob at Hackathon, Rob plus Hackathon. Go. And then verify, sign up. Boom. Okay, so that's it. Super simple to sign up with them. I'm going to go into my Gmail now and not the right email address. Okay, there you go. So verify your Alpaca account. So we're going to click on that and that's it. All right, super simple to make an account with them. Rob plus hackathon at lumiwealth.com. I'm going to log in and that's about it. Oh, and they want you to do the authenticator thing too. So we'll do that too. So I'll enter code manually. So if you guys have never used Authenticator, fill this in too. Scan to a fake code. Okay, there you go. Cool. So super simple, made an account, right? I got this paper trading account here, and then we're going to connect this to BotSpot, right? So I'm going to go to my BotSpot account. I'm going to go to settings, broker connections, and then I'm going to add a broker connection, Alpaca. And then it's super simple. Just pick your account, allow, and that's it. Now we're linked. All right. Okay, there you go. Cool. And I'm going to rename this to be Alpaca Paper Hackathon. Okay, so I got an account. I got my Alpaca linked. Now the fun stuff begins. All right. Okay, so step two, let's make this strategy in BotSpot. Okay. So the way we do that is we'll go to BotSpot. We'll go build, depending on what version of our website you're saying that this might be build or create strategy using AI. It's we're doing a bunch of A/B tests, so something like that, one of those. Okay, but basically here I'm gonna go type in make a strategy that buys TQQQ when it's above the 200-day moving average and sell it and hold cash when it's below. All right, so super simple. So make a strategy that buys TQQQ when it is above the 200-day moving average and hold cash otherwise. Right, so super simple, type that in, and now you just wait for it to work. It's gonna take a couple minutes. What it's gonna do here is it's gonna go off and make the strategy for you, right? It's gonna also do a bunch of research and stuff. And then it's going to automatically run a back test. Whenever you create a new strategy, it automatically runs a smoke back test just to make sure that things are working properly and nothing's like actually broken with it. And we'll basically see that happen here, right? So here it's loading the skills, creating a game plan. Here's our game plan, right? So it's going to research, then it's going to create the strategy workspace, then it's going to implement and audit the strategy code, then it's going to run that smoke back test, and then we're going to verify the result. This thing is smart enough too that if something goes wrong, I don't know if you guys have built a lot of strategies in your day. I've built a lot. The chance of them working the first time around is not very high. This is a this is a simple one, so it should work the first time around. But even if it does not, it's able to recover and automatically fix itself. Right? Here's just we're gonna let it run. Okay, while this is going, any questions or thoughts about where we're at so far? Because it's going to take a minute or two.
In your experience, assuming that this is not the first time you do it, does it build exactly the same thing every time?
No, it's AI, right? So it's not deterministic. For something this simple, it should build pretty much the same thing every time. The code's not going to look exactly the same, but I mean, there's really not that many ways to build this, right? So yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you ask for some crazy complicated strategy, you could build it differently in different types. Just like when you use Claude Code or Codex or whatever, right? Yeah.
You guys provide some fundamental skills which I can improve directly of AI, or I have to build my own skills and everything from scratch?
So if you use our platform, we have skills built in, right? As you can see here, it's actually loaded skills and a bunch of things like that. We're debating actually making that public. So maybe we'll make that public and we'll let people use our skills. Yeah. We've made really good tool descriptions for MCP. So it should be pretty good. Like whenever I use Claude Code or Codex or whatever, it does it pretty well. But yeah, let me know if you want us to, maybe I could give you our skills and you could mess with that. Yeah. Cool. Right, so you can see it started the back test, it's waiting for capacity, right? So this is back testing on our servers. So if you guys want to run some back tests, you can run a whole bunch of them on our servers. It doesn't have to keep your laptop going. If you want to do this from your phone, this is mobile friendly. You can actually link it up to Telegram and Discord the same way that you do OpenClaw. So you like talk to it that way. There's a bunch of different ways that you could talk to this thing. But yeah, there you go. Here's our back test going. All right, let's see how it does. I don't think it's going to do very well because the market's been down the past week, and this is a leveraged strategy. So my guess is it's probably going to come down, probably not going to perform very well over the past week, but I'll show you guys a longer back test as well once this is done. Any other questions or thoughts? Yeah.
Smart strategy. So my flow, to give context for my answer, I have a trade plan, right? So I'm using technical analysis to chart or to mark all the levels that I find of interest. There's overlap between certain indicators, right? Whether it be RSI, hitting standard deviation levels, etc. Maybe certain panel patterns. Like, how much can this take in that regard, right? There's multiple things that try to find confluence for when it comes to trading.
Yeah, I mean, it could get very complicated. It's Python code. So anything that Python code can do, this thing can do. So that's the advantage. Like, I know you're using TradingView, right? TradingView is going to have a lot of limitations, right? This is going to be a lot less than that, right? So Python, like whatever you can do with Python, you could do with this, right? So if you want to use machine learning, if you want to have some very advanced kind of if this, then that sort of situation, I mean, I have yet to see someone that has a bot that was not possible to build with Python, right? The only thing is like if you need to be like in person or something like that. But I mean, yeah, I could probably build like the most complicated thing you could think of. Yeah. Cool. Okay, cool. So we see it made the back test like I predicted. It's not exactly doing the best over the past week, which makes sense. The stock market's down, right? But let's run a longer back test. So run a longer back test from 2013 to today, right? So very simple. I can just talk to it, tell it, run a longer back test, and it's just going to do that, right? So that's step number 3. We run a longer back test. So you can basically just say, run a back test from 2013 till today. And why 2013? By the way, you could go back further if you wanted to, but TQQQ did not exist before that. So that's why 2013. All right. So in case you're wondering, yeah. Cool. And then you'll see that the results end up being something like this. We got about 8,500% total return, about 40% annual return, depending on exactly what start and end date it chose. It's going to get something in that ballpark, right? So we'll let this thing run. This back test is a lot longer, so it's going to take a few minutes. So we'll let it run in the background while we go through the rest of the stuff. Then we'll come back to that result. Okay. Step 4 will be to deploy the bot, right? And I'll show you there's really 2 ways to deploy this bot. You can just like talk to the AI and just get it to do it for you. Or some people, they prefer to just click. So you can go into here, strategy details, start trading, right? And then when I'm in here, I link my broker, right? Run mode auto. For some reason I can't scroll on this page right now. I don't know why? But yeah, you'd basically click, there's at the bottom of the page, you'd click the start button, right? Or you could do what I do is just tell the agent to deploy it for you. Okay, so here is the back test as it's running. We'll let it finish. It's kind of fun watching these things, This is October 2014, March 2015. So you can actually watch it as a back test, which is pretty cool to watch, right? So you can see the date, you can see how it's been doing, right? And then once this finishes, I'm going to tell the AI, deploy this. It'll let me basically pick my broker and all that, right? So yeah, so imagine your account started from 100 grand, turn it to 1.5 million, 2.2 million, those are pretty good numbers. I've had some of my own money in this for a couple of months now. It's been doing pretty well. One of my favorite strategies, to be honest with you, we actually have a couple of strategies on our marketplace too. If you guys want to take a look at them, there's, we have our diversified leverage on there. We have this strategy on there. We have a couple of option strategies. So if you guys want to look at our marketplace, we have a bunch of different things there too. So yeah, so imagine, 100 grand turn into $10 million after, what is that, 13 years? I'd say that's a pretty nice outcome, right? If you want to, you could also tell it, back test this, assuming it's a $10,000 account or $5,000 account, whatever you want to do, right? Obviously it scales in proportion, but sometimes, when you have a different amount of money, especially smaller accounts with like options trading or something, it does actually make a meaningful difference, right? So it could be useful to back test with different amounts as well, right?
Yeah. And so does this take into account the broker fees or are there no broker fees for Alpaca?
So yeah, there are no broker fees for Alpaca for starters, right? They're like Robinhood, right? So there are no broker fees, but if you wanted to, you could, right? You could just tell the AI, incorporate X amount of broker fees, whatever, and it could do that for you. Yeah. Any other questions? Yep. No, we have our own servers. Yeah, so we use LumiBot, which is our open source library, to do the backtesting, and we run it on AWS. Yeah. The market data, we get it from the brokers, right? So this is using, I believe, Interactive Brokers data. Yeah. Yeah, but if you link your broker, we can actually get you a lot more data. There's a lot of like rules around this. So, we can't be giving away too much data for free. I would love to, but they won't allow us, you know what I mean? But if you link your broker, then we could actually give you more data from your broker because you're legally allowed to use your own data, right? So cool. Okay, so there's the result, right? Like I said, around 40% annual return, 9,488%. I'd say that's not bad, right? Okay, so now let's say I want to deploy this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, okay, deploy this to I'll just say deploy this, right? Right.
The, like the backtesting. Like how likely is that to determine future performance?
That's a very loaded question. It depends, right? If you put a gun to my head and said, make a back test that produces, 10,000% a year, I could do that, right? Because everything that happened in the past, right? But there are ways that you could do this so that you don't have that bias, right? I mean, you're always going to have some level of bias, right? Because you know what happened in the stock market. I mean, who knows? Maybe we get into a bear market over the next 10 years, right? You don't know what the future holds, right? But there are ways they could do it to reduce that variability, right? Like for example, you might want to run backtests initially on one set of time period, right? So you might want to run from say 2013 till 2000, whatever, to 18 or something in the first 5 years, and you could practice on that and then try to do like the bigger samples. It's a lot like if you ever built machine learning algorithms, it's very similar to that kind of thing. You could build, shorter time period, does it work well, and then go longer time period that can get rid of some of that bias. But yeah, it's a difficult question. There's a lot of potential bias in backtests. It's really hard to get rid of. Yeah.
I mean, all this logic is like, okay, well, it's 40% annual. Sounds very safe. However, like, no, sounds very appealing. That's why it's never been good.
I mean, a lot of people do trade TQQ,
But like with this strategy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, is this the best? I'm not selling you on the strategy. That's not what my job is here, right? Yeah. Yeah. If you want to do it, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to invest in this, right? It's just one that I like. I have some of my own money in it personally, right? I'm trying to show you how to use the platform to do things like this, right? So, yeah.
It also has almost 50% drawdown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's.
Yeah, it's not free.
You suck at that.
Yeah. 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 And if you see a max drawdown of 48%, which is what we have here, I can show you also the Sharpe ratio and all that down here. So here's the Sharpe ratio, ROMAD, all that kind of stuff. There's also indicators here they can look at too. So if you guys like looking at indicators, here's basically all the trades and everything that happened, right? So you can see all that. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely not for free. 48% drawdown is, not nothing, right? I'd say it's a pretty good trade-off considering over the same time period, I think the S&P probably had like a 30-ish% drawdown, right? So it's more than the S&P, but it's not so high that the annual return doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, because of the volatility. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Sharpe of 0.91, right? Which is not stellar, right? But it makes sense. It's a leveraged asset, right? So it does come with risk. It's not like risk-free. Yeah.
but low Sharpe.
Sharpe ratio here is 0.91. Oh, I think the Sharpe of the S&P is lower than this over the same time period. I think so. We can actually look at this. So whenever this gets produced, you can also click on the tear sheet here. This will give you a lot of information. So here's the tear sheet, right? And then Sharpe ratio SPY is 0.59. Over the same time period, we're 0.91. So we have a higher Sharpe. Yeah. Yeah. Or you could do Sortino makes a little bit more sense in something like this, because we're chopping off a lot of the volatility going down. I'm actually not a huge fan of Sharpe ratios as like a metric. Sortino makes more sense if you're going to look at that sort of thing because it only counts the volatility downwards, right? So, but yeah, you get a lot of stuff. Here's the tear sheet. You go through rolling volatility, right? The worst drawdown periods, your underwater plot. You can get a lot of stuff out of this. And this comes with LumiBot. So if you're using LumiBot, our open source framework, it has all the stuff built in automatically. Okay, so I got this thing to deploy. Okay, so here's an approval to deploy. So I'm going to hit approve. Okay, and then here I'm going to select my broker, which is Alpaca Hackathon. Right, I'm going to confirm my login. So we force you to do a second log, even though you're logged in, we make you log in again. It's what's that security thing called again? Step up security, right? So every time you do any kind of sensitive action, we make you log in again, right? And then here I'll choose Alpaca Paper Hackathon, start bot, and that's it, right? And we got this bot trading.
Yeah. Wrong.
Yeah, as long as it's above the moving average. Yeah.
It'd be like years.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
$10 million. Sell it as over. Sell all of the meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, it will sell $10 million. Yeah. Yes, it will. Yeah. Yeah. So we don't actually account for taxes in our platform yet, but we're thinking about actually adding that. Actually, on the flight here, I met someone on the airplane. He's like, "Oh yeah, what about taxes? This and that." I'm like, you know what? We can actually build that in to take that into account. For me, when I trade this, I have it in an IRA, so I don't care about taxes, right? But yeah, there's definitely tax implications for sure. Yeah.
You're in for next.
I'll show you later.
Oh, you do some tax related stuff? Is that what you're doing?
Oh, no, I run an automated option trade.
Okay, cool, awesome.
I'll send this.
Okay, cool, perfect, awesome, great. Okay, so there's a strategy. It's running, right? You can see account value $100,000, $100,000 in cash, right? And then again, I don't know why my scrolling is not working, but yeah. So there's the account, and you'll see that if you scroll down, you can actually like stop the account and all, stop the bot or whatever you need to do.
Yes, I did that.
Oh, you did? Okay, so maybe it's some sort of bug. I'll look into that after the presentation. Yeah. So we had like a scrolling issue where like on mobile it's like scrolling way past down. So maybe like fixing that caused a different problem, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So we'll fix that. This will be super easy. Okay, cool. So deploy to BotSpot, right? And then step 5, enter the hackathon, right? So for me to enter the hackathon, I would go here. We'll do this live. We'll go to learn. I'll go hackathon, learn. Okay. It's also on the homepage. So if you go to homepage, there's like a link to it here at the top. So click on that, enter the competition, right? And then rules. Oh, geez, my scroll thing is going to be a problem now. I can't click on the button because it's below, but basically you'd select your strategy. So here's the strategy, right? And then you basically enter. Sorry? That's not working. No. Oh, that worked. Okay, there you go. Cool. Good idea. Cool. And then here, TQQQ, this is the one that we created, right? Deployed July 19th. And then I'm going to go all the way down here. Confirm my strategy complies with the rules, then enter the competition. There we go.
That by August 19th?
Yes. Yeah. So by August, so if you go to this page, you'll see, right? You have 30 days to get this done. So by August 19th, you need to have this submitted. And then the competition actually starts from August 19th till September 19th. So we're going to measure your strategies for a month. And then whoever comes in first place, you're going to get $500 cash and a 1-year membership pro plan. So it's worth about $2,400. So in total, it's like $3,000 in value. Second place gets $300 cash and a 1-year pro plan. And then third place gets $200 cash and a 1-year pro plan. All right. Rules are pretty simple, enter your strategy. And if basically, you can't see it yet because we just started this, but you'll see like an actual graph and we'll see who's in first place, who's in second. Like we can actually watch it, which one is making the most money and which one's not. Cool. Any questions about that? Does that all make sense? Okay, awesome, cool. Okay, so that's it for method 1, right? So that's if you're using our website, you can make this strategy. There we go, cool. But if you prefer using your own coding agent, which is understandable because maybe you want to do something off your computer or whatever, right? Then you can also use your own agent. So let me show how to do this. So basically, it's almost the exact same steps. The only real difference is set up your agent. We can connect your broker, but I'm not going to go through that again. We'll show you how to make the strategy, backtest, deploy, and then enter the hackathon. All right. Okay, so number 1, to set up your agent, you can scan the QR code if you want. Basically, you'd go to botspot.trade/agents, right? Which is botspot.trade/agents. Cool. And then here's all the different agents, right? You want to connect it to ChatGPT, Claude, Claude Code, Cursor, whatever you want to do. You get the instructions from here. What I usually do is just, you can take a screenshot of this page and you can just give it to your agent and it'll figure it out, you know? Or just give it the URL, it'll figure it out. Yeah. Someone's blasting the music. Thank you. Awesome. So if you want to scan the QR code, there it is. Yeah, so it'll take you to that agent's page. You could take that agent's page, give it to your Claude Code or Codex or whatever, right? And then you're gonna have to go to BotSpot as well and create an API key, right? So I'll show you how to do that as well. All right, so go settings, API keys, right? Create an API key, right? Name it, create the API key, give it to your agent. Make sure you save it somewhere safe because this will be able to trade for you and things like that. So make sure you save it somewhere safe. But yeah, so you create an API key, give it to your agent. It'll figure out how to do this. Right here's the QR code. Okay, and basically that's it. Usually Claude is pretty smart. Like I think when you did it with Cursor earlier, it was pretty straightforward, right? So I gave it to it, yeah. So let the agents do their work. Okay, and then you're going to connect your broker, which I already showed you guys how to do that, right? I'm not going to go through it again. Okay, and then now you want to make a strategy with your own agent. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to, I love using Whisper Flow. I don't know if you guys use it, but I'm a big fan. So I'm going to say, use the BotSpot MCP server to make a strategy that trades TQQQ. Buy it when it's above the 200-day moving average and hold cash otherwise. Okay. Okay, so there you go. We hit run. I like using Codex. I don't know what you guys use. I really like Codex because it's more cost effective, you know? Yep.
Yeah, just curious, do you guys also provide any data?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much is stored this data? Like what kind of?
Yeah, so we get, so it depends on, so we get crypto data from Coinbase, which goes back quite far. I think it's basically since they've been around, which is like the beginning of crypto, basically. For stock data, we use Interactive Brokers. And then for options data, you do have to pay a fee for it because we get that from Theta Data, right? And that's, I think we charge like $20 a month or something for that. We kind of just have to pass that fee on. Yeah. Yeah.
There's like, you know, like how much we get from like example, how much data from one place. Can I download that one?
Well, you can't download it to your computer. This is on our platform, right? If you wanted to do that, you could do that independently, right? You know, do you trade crypto? Is that what you typically trade?
Yeah, I'm trying to build each space on like a liquid and then mostly contact.
Okay.
But yeah, it's unless you pay like 20 grand, it's not like rates get all the.
Yeah. Yeah. Level 2 data is definitely much more expensive. That's for sure. Yeah. Coinbase, I found to be one of the best ones in terms of free data. You don't even need an API key with them. Like they just allow you to get data going back very far. And it's like, I don't know if they have.
I think at least like no, the equipment charges like for the rest of the data, like how granular it is.
Yeah, I know it goes at least down to 1 minute frequency. I don't know if it goes down to second level or anything like that, but Coinbase has at least 1 minute. I know that for sure because we use it. So, yeah. Yeah, Coinbase is, they're highly incentivized to give you free data, right? So, yeah, exactly, right? So,
Even in case of like,
yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, if you do it through our platform, if you backtest on our platform, we'll just give that data for you. Like that's kind of the whole point is that you don't have to go off and do this, right? You have to go find your data, deploy it, this and that. We take care of all that for you in one platform, right? Yeah.
could go on the Coinbase. But
Yeah, we use Coinbase. Yeah, we just use Coinbase for the like back testing. Yeah. But then when you're actually trading, you're using your broker's own data, right? So depending on whatever broker you connected to. Yeah. We don't support Hyperliquid yet, but now I'm starting to think we should because you're the second person who mentioned it today.
yeah, the thing
Yeah.
is they're like decent, but like Yeah, I mean, even on big trade, like says that's all same sort of. Do not have like
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of the crypto stuff you can get around it. Yeah. Just don't connect your bank account, connect your wallet, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So you can see it built the strategy for me. So it created the strategy, there's a strategy version, etc. Right? Okay, so really simple. I just told it build me a strategy using the BotSpot MCP, and I was able to figure it out. Okay, and then step 3, if we want to backtest over a longer time period, I'll tell it run a backtest from 2013 up until today using the BotSpot MCP. I don't know if I have to say that last part, but if you tell it to do it through our MCP server, then it runs on our servers, and this way you don't have to get data and all that kind of stuff. It makes it a lot simpler. All right, so let this thing run that back test. Okay, January 1st, 2013 until July 19th. All right, there we go. We'll let Codex do its thing. Okay, and then step 4, you could deploy it through Claude Code or Codex or whatever as well. You can even connect this, by the way, to like just regular ChatGPT, which is kind of fun to do. You know, you can just like talk to your ChatGPT and like make me a strategy that does this, backtest it, whatever. All the stuff could be done from like any of the AI apps, right? So let this thing finish back testing, or at least start the back test. I'll say deploy this to BotSpot. Right, and it's basically going to look the same way that it did on our website. It's going to produce a link for you that you click on, and then you approve it. Select whatever broker you want to use, and then you could deploy it that way too. All right. Okay, and then step 5, enter the hackathon, right? Same sort of thing. Yeah. Right, and then for you guys, I mentioned, you know, we're going to give you guys some free stuff. So if you use this code on our website, hack0526, this is going to give you 2 months for free with our platform. All right, and that's it. Any questions, or you know, what are you guys planning to build? You know, any comments, thoughts?
Question. I know that for the option trading, there are so many tools to analyze and understand the data, but they also heavily affects by the inputs too.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys also provide some of the tools, like some kind of exaggregated tools.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So we use Alpaca to get news data. Right. So if you want to do news data, you could actually feed it. It's an environment variable with an Alpaca API key, and you could use their API to get news data.
It's free.
I think news is free, actually. I don't think you have to pay for news. Yeah. Yeah, or at least like it was working for me for free. So yeah.
You said the news, is, like strong enough to where it's robust where it is doing by itself, or like you say the other sources that would add like a as holistic as a fundamental perspective as possible.
Yeah, so I think they use Benzinga for news, I think, you know, which is it's fairly good. It's not like everything, right? Like you don't get the New York Times or whatever, right? But it's pretty good for free, right? Yeah. It's pretty fast. They release stuff pretty quick. I think they use a lot of AI in Benzinga to produce news, so they are pretty quick about it. But it's Python code, so you can do whatever the hell you want, right? Like if you want to use a different news source, you can do that. Just tell the AI, connect to this news source, and it'll do it for you, right? So you're not limited by what we have. This is one of the reasons why we use Python. You do whatever the hell you want, you know? Yeah. If you want to connect to like satellite data from Starlink or something, you know, you could do that, right? If you want like whatever kind of data you guys want to feed in, you can do that, right? Yeah. Cool. Any other questions or thoughts, comments? Cool. Awesome. Well, this was fun. I want to see what you guys build. Yeah. Cool. All right. So thank you very much. Yeah. Hack 0526. Any other questions, thoughts?
Have you, like to get specific, I was thinking of doing like specifically more like decentralized science. I know that they're just tokens, but is that, do you have a suggested route to do that? It's essentially like a lot on Solana, that kind of stuff. That's just more in the settings of what I'm training on.
Okay. So you want to trade like decentralized?
Well, the decentralized science tokens.
Okay.
So it's like a niche within tokens.
Okay.
There's a couple of different platforms like Pump Science, BioFuzzy, they're building, there's another floor here that does decentralized science as well. And so most people don't even know that they're science tokens. They're just kind of
Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard of it personally.
yeah, see, I was gonna leverage that space between the know of the science and the token, because like I saw that he was even at one of these events at Zohouse where we had a DJ lounge where everybody was just basically like guessing and trying to see which tokens rose, and they picked a token which was called Rift at the time that was rising, and out the one floor everybody's like, oh, we're not sure why, but this has some backing behind it. And then when I went to the floor down below, it was the decentralized people who didn't know so much about the crypto end, but they were putting the science on it. So it was drugs put on crypto, and then as crypto rises, it funds the research.
Okay,
So-
that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, so I was
Cool idea.
able to leverage the space between essentially by analyzing what people in the science community know and what's coming up, because it just seems pretty obvious. I've made some money with it just without auto bots, so that if I had it set on auto, I might have been able to keep some.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Get like Fable 5 to analyze it or something, you know?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's cool, yeah. I mean, I don't know what exchanges this thing trades on. Like we support a bunch of different crypto exchanges.
As long as it's Solana and those, it's just another token.
Okay.
It's just a back end that was built on top.
Okay. So yes, I mean, we support Coinbase, Kraken, you know, if it's on one of those, then we support it. We don't support decentralized brokers yet. It's definitely something we've been thinking about, but we don't have that just yet. So if you want decentralized trading, let me know and we can work towards that.
Binance jumped in on, and that's what made it pop, because we were in a room about this size when they were like, oh, and in a year, this will be the big thing. And then Vitalik came in and CZ from Binance, and everything sold out in like, because they jumped the gun on it and Binance. So I know it can be traded on. It's still, people don't seem to realize what it can be.
Interesting. There's a lot of stuff in crypto. It's hard to keep up, you know? Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Thank you.
If you're tweaking your strategy and you're not successful, do you have any kind of real time help?
Yeah. If you're on one of our plans, then you could get me on the phone, you know, or someone else from our staff to help you out. There's like, we have an all access plan. It's like, yeah. So we have like a lot of support. Yeah. We actually build a lot of strategies for people too. So if you have a strategy in mind, we could just make it for you. Yeah. We do that as well. Yeah.
Charge based on
the difficulty of the project and that sort of thing. Yeah. It's too hard to say like, you know, the flat fee, whatever, because some people come up with some crazy stuff, right? And some of it's like super simple. So it depends, right? Yeah. Cool. Okay.
All right. Thanks for the talk, Rob. Your strategy looks pretty good. The returns are really juicy. And I was curious because I'm really interested in buying and holding. So that's what Put House does as well. Instead of trading your stocks actively, it'll do long-term hold and trade options on top of it. But it got me curious because I was looking at Tesla. If I were to hold the same 10-year period, how will it perform compared to trading the TQQ? So for TQQ, it did close to 10,000% over 10 years. Tesla, it is cherry picking, right? Tesla did 30,000 over a 10-year period. But if you were to look at, it's an anomaly. If you look at Apple, other big tech, they didn't perform as well, 2,000% over 10 years. So I'll start with Put House now. So what if I ask you guys, you can make money without working. All you have to do is hold your cash or your stocks and it'll earn income on top of it. So it's kind of like a bot as well for BotSpot. But Put House does the automatic options trading. And it's kind of like an insurance business where you have, if you were to buy an auto policy, people are paying you as the user of Put House to buy that contract. In this case, it's an option contract. And as long as the market doesn't move too volatile and the concept of strike price, as long as the underlying stock price is under the strike price, you get to earn that premium. In that case, it's an income. And so in the terms of insurance business, as long as no one makes a claim, you make that money. And so that's how it's like an insurance business. And you guys are probably familiar with call contracts, put contracts. With the call contract, people of that buyer of a call contract is paying you as the user of put house. And so they're buying the option to buy, they're paying for the option to buy shares before that expiration date and at that strike price. And so as a user of put house, you're selling them the option contract. And so that's why you're holding either stocks, which is standardized to 100 shares, or cash, which is equivalent to 100 shares. And I'll show you a bit of a demo here. It's put house dashboard right here. And so all you do is put in the cash, put in the stocks, and click start. And it'll trade, it'll tell exactly, similar like BotSpot actually, it'll explain to you for these symbols that you hold, which ones are enough risk to take on to earn income on top of it. So right now, this account holds Microsoft, Robinhood, SpaceX, Meta, and all of the times it'll skip it because it'll say, hey, you either don't have enough shares or you already have enough shares and it's within earnings, so it's too risky because there may be like a gap risk where the stock will rally up 20% in one day. So we want to avoid those kind of scenarios. Similarly to BotSpot, it'll trade when it's like above a moving average. And I'll go over to the portfolio tab here because it'll show you all those contracts that it traded. So Nebius is one of the stocks that I hold. And you can see a lot of them are unprofitable, but that's all right because if we look at one of the concepts is delta, and it'll tell us 0.12 means it's almost like 90% chance of profit. So for every dollar the stock moves, this is how much the contract will move. So it's a very small amount. It'll move 0.12. So it's what we call far out of the money. And because these contracts are closed at close to at 50% profit, that percentage of profit is even higher, maybe like 95. And it has been back tested 12 years for options data. And it's profitable as well. And just for some context, since I'm along the way, there's already users for put house. It's already earning profit for users as well. And they're paying users, and their average account size is $50,000, which is a lot more than traditional brokerages because the average American has $4,000 in savings. So for Robinhood, they did a good job of democratizing trading and investing. But now the next step above that is agentic trading and also automated options trading. And so you see that it is unprofitable, but if we were to look over to the analytics here, let's say the 3-month mark. So every month it's earning income and the win rate is extremely high. So not only do you have a really high win rate, you're earning conservatively, because these are the default settings, so usually 0.5%. I usually tell people it's up to 3%. So it does depend on how the market moves, what stocks you hold, and the settings you tune. So there are preset settings. There's a bold mode, which is a default, so it'll trade everything. I have it here set to custom, so just max everything out to 100% number of shares that I have. Use all the contracts. And if we were to go to the stocks, I mentioned you're trading with your stocks or your cash. And I have some cash here, like 30,000 here. And let's look at the stocks that I hold. A lot of Nebius, Meta, a lot of big tech, right? I used to trade TQQQ, but now I'm more so in the long-term holding and there's earning income on top of it. But just going back to earning income, it's pretty steady. Here, you're earning close to like maybe 500 a week. And that's kind of like you're earning money without working. So that's the great part of it. I'm not saying BotSpot is a bad strategy. It's just a different strategy. But I kind of like alluded to if you were to have like a few millions in the account, maybe selling a few millions is like a huge realized tax that you have to pay. And that drops your portfolio value. Whereas this one, it's kind of like the opposite. You're holding your stocks long term. But that's about it. Yeah. So it'll basically just trade everything. All you have to do is put in cash or stocks, click start, and you're done. It's a set it and forget it.
You said exit rules.
Oh yes, it fully automates the entries, exits, risk management. So for exits, it closes at 50% profit. If it's not profitable by expiration, you could choose if you want to let it get assigned or not. I prefer to not close them early, so allow assignment. So that's one of the concepts. Allow assignment is when the call buyer exercises that contract, they want to buy 100 shares using the contract you sold them. But you always earn that premium that they paid to buy that contract. Yes.
Can you screen like bid ask spread? Just it's like bid ask spread like why?
Yes. So it always sells at so there is I'll show you the custom settings here. One of the filters is for bid ask spread at below 20%. So usually for institutions, they do 10%. They want to make sure they're not losing out on the spread for poor fills. But that's fully configurable. I do 20 because sometimes the users just have more illiquid stocks. Instead of trading SPY, they're trading, let's say, like a Nebius. It can be pretty wide. So that's configurable as well. And it always trades at mid price. So you're not losing out on if you were to place a market order, you're kind of losing out on the spread. Yep. So yeah.
So you provide a platform for people to like trade, or like you also provide strategies?
So it's just the income strategy for Put House, and this Put House is the platform for also uses Alpaca for market data and holding your funds to earn income on top of it. Well, there could be expansions and additional strategies. Right now, it's just focused on the income strategies. Exactly. Up to 3% monthly.
Set options.
Yes, exactly.
Is that pack rate, or is that?
The one on the left is Alpaca. So they have a high yield savings. This is showing how not only do you have a starter high yield savings, you're generating income on top of it, and then the flywheel of using those that income to buy additional shares or trade more contracts. Yep. Great questions.
What would happen in the slim chance of a black swan event to your strategies?
Yeah. So the cool part is it's trading covered calls, and the contract expires, decays faster when the stocks drop. When the stocks drop, the call expires like decays faster. So you actually become more profitable for the contracts. Granted, you are holding the stocks, so you are losing value on the stocks, but that's the same for any buy and hold strategy.
Okay. So the long tail risk.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep. So managing risk is a big one. I already say over down here, the approach is to preserve your capital, to have a safety first approach before we maximize gains. Now, I think for Rob's strategy at BotSpot, just to mention it again, it's great for maximizing income. Who doesn't want to earn more money, make more like higher returns? Now, at some point, like there are just additional strategies, and again, like if you were to hold 10 million, which I'm not saying it's like easy to, like holding 10 million and then selling a lot of it. Again, there's some tax purposes there. Safety comes first. I think risk management is how you'll have gains compound long term. Yep. And again, I have a video here. I don't know if it plays audio. I'll kind of show it. I don't know if it plays. Let's see if I can get the sound over here. I post a lot on Instagram, YouTube. I have an intern right now doing a lot of the marketing for videos as well. This is one of the videos that I made early on.
He's in the car, get in the car, fucking up, but it's enough of like, yeah, I'm sorry, not, finish up place, come to be fake, fun, do break, you know, but not go.
So that's a quick 15-second of what I showed earlier. Okay. Any other questions? So just a quick show of hands, like how many of you guys hold stocks? All right. Less than half the group. Okay. Well, it's you can start anywhere. I started in college with $100 in Apple, and I always regret selling it. But I recommend a long-term view as well in stocks. So AI, I think, is a big one. Personally, I'm not a financial advisor. Okay. Thank you, guys.